What's good, YouTube? Welcome back to the Brown Gent. In today's video, I'm going to talk about LayerZero, and I know it's not sort of the easiest or the best topic that most of you want to hear about, but I'm going to explain why I think that this, along with a few other airdrops, you really need to get on, and I think it's a very high priority for all of you. And I don't care if you haven't started yet. I'm going to show you how you can build a strategy to maximize on this. And while you may not get the top spot, you can put yourself well into the running to earn a significant amount of money, and it will make all other airdrops pale in comparison. So let's get into it. I'm very sort of passionate about this topic, but before we do, remember, nothing I say here is financial advice. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button, join the other 7,600 and something people who've already sort of subscribed, support the channel's growth. And if you want extra coaching, guidance, and support, and I'm going to explain a little thing later on, we have a private membership group called the Web3 Secret Society. I get a ton of DMs. I'm unable to respond to all of them, especially if I do respond. They're not very often and they're not very frequent. So if you want that white glove service, you know where to go. Now, here's something I found that I thought was very interesting on crypto Twitter. I forget where I got it from, so I can't give credit, but it's not my image. A lot of people are distracted by testnet airdrops, and yes, they are a good thing to do once you've covered your bases. On this channel, I'm not here about pushing a narrative around what like what kind of things you should go for and just posting a bunch of videos for the sake of posting it. There's a reason why I don't post videos so often. And the reason for that, yes, I'm busy, but I also don't want to distract you guys. I want to focus on the highest ROI or return on investment opportunities. Now, there are some test nets like Metis, which will take you like 5 minutes and then you're good for forever, or like Barachain, where it's a few activities every other week. But for the most part, even there, you're not going to get much money. And here's why. If you think about it, the easier it is to duplicate, the more diluted it will be. And there are people out there creating bots who are going to farm this incessantly. And what happens is that allocation of tokens that used to be a very high supply when people weren't focused on it gets heavily diluted. And then people will post in their in the airdrop channels, the discords, going, oh my God, we got nothing. There's a reason why Dimension was a significant airdrop for many people. I got over $5,000, I don't know what the hell I was saying, $5,000 over a couple wallets, but it's because this was getting in early-ish on Celestia where most people didn't. Most people got in a week after, a few days later to stake even the one Celestia token. And going forward, sort of all of those thresholds went up. Well, this is a very competitive player-to-player game. And if you want to win, you've got to sort of play in the spots where you can win. And I'm going to show you something here that I have not heard about on other channels, and it's around LayerZero. Now, the reason this comes as a sort of big topic of concern, when Wormhole dropped their tokenomics, it was really a slap in the face. It told me, wait a second, I've been prioritizing the wrong things on this channel. I've been talking to you guys, and it's my fault for bringing up a bunch of testnet stuff, which, yes, it's nice to have. But if you aren't getting high portions of these other airdrops, then I failed you. And that's why I want to talk about it today. Wormhole is the first in many interoperability sort of projects that will have a significant airdrop. One that everyone's talked about for a long time. Crypto Twitter loves to talk about this. It's not, they've been sort of slacking on providing us more details, but we know that LayerZero is going to have an airdrop. It's going to happen likely in the next few months to half a year. So this is something that you can get started on today. And yes, it's not too late. The number one thing I get asked by people is, hey, is it too late to start? Because I got 0 transactions. I've been focused on other things. You can start today, and I'm going to show you how in a few days you can rise to the top of the ranks. While you're not going to be in the top 1 percentile, I'm going to show you how you can be in the top 15, top 25 very easily, and then how you can slowly grind all the way up to the top 1%. But I've got to get your commitment that you're actually interested and you want to do this. the first thing I'm going to tell you to do, remember, links to everything are in the description below. Join their Discord and join their Twitter. That's the number one thing I want you to do first. Get those things done after the video's done, because I want to make sure that you're part of every community that you're involved in. Don't just wait for my videos. These guys sort of will put announcements out very often, and it might take me, half a day or a day to make a video. If you're in the private Discord, you'll probably get the announcement much sooner, probably within the hour, half an hour, whatever. But let's get started. The first way to earn this airdrop is to identify where you are. And by the way, this is going to hold true, not just for this one, but for other airdrops that I'm going to post videos about in the future. You have zero clue on how to move forward if you don't know where you start. So there's a website. Now, I don't sort of co-sign their service, but you can go to NFT CoPilot. I've put the link to sort of their LayerZero tracker. They've got trackers for ZK Sync, Starknet, Scroll, a bunch of stuff. You can see how you're doing. Now, we care about LayerZero, and the reason you don't see LayerZero here is because I'm on the page. I've linked to it. I'm going to be honest with you guys. 3 days ago, I was number 200,000 because I didn't prioritize it as much, since last summer. Now, and that was like top 2.5%. Now I'm in the 0.96%. You can make massive moves over time. And yes, there are some criteria that will take much longer to do, but there are some criteria that's really looked at that you can really score on. And I want to show you how to do this. And yes, I'm giving a competitive edge away, and I don't care because I'm doing this for the community. I'm doing this for the people who post in my comments every single day saying, hey, I don't have enough money to invest or to stake in Celestia or to stake in Dimension. I don't have the money to sort of go in Eigenlayer. Well, you can actually use a much smaller investment to sort of drive these things. And yes, I say investment because when you are farming on mainnet, you will have to pay some gas fees. I'm going to show you how you can be strategic so you're not sitting there blowing hundreds of dollars. In fact, I can't show this on this one, but when I do the ZK Sync version of this video, you'll see how little I've spent versus how much I expect to gain. And I suspect that if you do this properly, remember, not financial advice, I think that we could see a mid 4-digit number for your size of airdrop, obviously depending on your rank. I think if you get in the top 10%, you're pretty much guaranteed a 4-digit airdrop. I'm going to show you how you can do that very simply. So going back to that, the first thing we want to do, there's a website that I've showed in the past called Wenzer. Now you can use this for a ton of protocols. Today we're focusing on LayerZero. Once you click on that, it will open up this page. And really what it does is it shows you where you stand versus where you can go. So this sort of U that you see over here really reflects kind of where I stand in each of these buckets. And every single one of these is a different tier. So going from 5 transactions is 1 point, then 10 is the second, 25 is the other, 50, etc. Obviously, there's some that may not be as feasible. You see here, I've only done 10K worth of volume, and the next one is 50K. So that is, I need 40,000 more in volume to move up 1 step. Or I can go from 50 to 100 transactions to go up a step. Probably the most critical one, the one that most people will point out is, oh my God, well, if I start today, it's 1 month. Well, let's just say you start in February and you're in March. That's 2 months, right? And yes, there are all these criteria, and this is where you have a time, sort of a rate limiting step. Same thing with active days, because you can do this literally every single day. Like I have been in LayerZero for over almost half a year, but it doesn't matter. I'm going to show you how you can sort of look past that, because in 1 month, you can get to the same stage I am, which is 25 unique days if you do a transaction every single day, but you've got to get started now. Your wallet age doesn't care, by the way, of when you started LayerZero. It's just, when did you open this wallet? The wallet in question has been open for over 300 days. So if you're using a wallet to farm this that is like, over 400 days, perfect. Use one from 2 years ago if you have it. If not, it doesn't matter. The number one thing that I think you can change in the short term is your number of source chains that you use. Source chains means with LayerZero, it's all about sort of taking funds from one chain and putting them on another. Very much like bridging. What's really cool is sometimes you can swap from one one token to another, but you have 10 chains. So you can get 10 points. In fact, I was sitting here at 6 chains, not knowing. And this is the thing, when you look at other people's LayerZero video, because trust me, when I didn't know how to farm this, I would look at their video. I did a bunch of nonsensical things because I listened to their advice, and they weren't telling the truth, which is look at the data, look at what you can change, and try to make that difference. I have linked you guys to what the proposed ranking algorithm is for LayerZero, which you can find on Dune. The number one thing that you can change in the short term is the core chains that are used, which is Arbitrum, Avalanche, BNB, whatever. I'm going to show you how you can see how you're doing versus all those, because data is our friend. Everything else on here is a point. So going from 2 to 6 months is 1 point, but going from one chain to 10, that's 10 points. This is how you can really build it out. The same thing over here, 10 distinct weeks or 50 distinct days. Yes, that you can grind. You can grind that long term. Let's make sure that if LayerZero airdrop was to happen next week, that you've got yourself high enough where you're good. And then all you got to do is make sure that over the next, I don't know, however long period, as long as this airdrop sort of, I don't want to say gets delayed, but as long as this airdrop is in flux, you can sit there and go, okay, now I'm going to get these other metrics up. Every month that they don't launch the airdrop, perfect. I will get another distinct month. I'll make sure that I have it on my radar to just do one simple transaction a day on here, for example, to get to 50 distinct days. The same thing. Or you could just do, hey, I want to do it once every week, and I want to focus on this. These are the things that matter. Also, you want to sort of look at interacting more than 5 contracts, then 10, 25, 100. This is an easy thing to get. Bridge funds through LayerZero. That's another easy thing to get. But once again, you have zero clue where you are unless you go, put your wallet address in here, find out where you rank, look at the following metrics here, and go, okay, I'm going to make it a priority in the short term. Let me get these 2 up here. I don't have the screenshot, but when I did this a week ago, I was sitting at number 200,000. I showed it on a video, I believe, and there was a huge opportunity. Look at that. I went from 200,000 to 37,000. And I'm going to keep grinding, right? Because my next thing over here is these 2. 71 transactions, let's get that to 100. 31 contracts, let's get that to 100, okay? So if you're wondering where you are after this video, what I want you to do is go to Wenzer. Once you've done all that, click on source chains. And then when you do that, missing source change, 0 to 10, Ethereum, BNB, I got all of them now. Before I hadn't. If you don't have them, see this link here? Literally, this is how you solve it. You click on this link, and all you got to do is find a token that's cross-compatible between both chains. So, for example, let's say you're looking at, I don't know, BNB, and you're looking at, by the way, I'm going to show you destination chain as well before I go through this. Sorry. Just because you want to sort of minimize the number of transactions you need. So here's the source transactions. Write down which ones you need. Here's the destination transactions. You have 46 total destinations. Your goal is to get this also to missing 0 or the smaller number possible. Find out which ones those are and find out which tokens are on both, and then you can make that transfer. I'm going to show you a couple protocols that will help you get this sorted. So what you do here is, now that you've sort of mapped it out, you can now instead go, okay, well, maybe you were missing BNB and maybe you're missing Metis. Well, you can do a transaction from BNB to Metis. And what does that do? Well, it makes it so you only need one transaction to get that, to get both check marks. Or if you had the source chain that was missing was also a missing destination chain, you could go there and back, like trade it there and trade it back. So if I don't have Optimism and Polygon on both the source and destination chain, well, I can send some Ethereum over from Optimism to Polygon and back, and I can use this protocol. So let's just go through this right now. Optimism, I'm going to use Polygon, and we'll see what tokens. I'll use ETH. So I guess this doesn't work here. Let's see what other token works. Maybe you can use USDC. Yeah. So in this case, for example, it would be USDC on Optimism to Polygon. But once again, this is all about finding out what is similar and doing that right away. This is what you can do in the short term. So don't listen to those liars who tell you, hey, it's too late to earn LayerZero. I think everyone is going to be sort of kicking themselves on Wormhole, and I regret not really covering it enough. I ranked in like the top like 50-ish%, top 40-ish% for Wormhole. But I think once again, if we are strict on this stuff, we can everyone who watches this video can rank in the top 10, top 20. So that is the basic strategy. Now that you know what you got to do, right? It's very, very simple. The other thing you can do as well is go to the DAP list on Wenzer, look at all the protocols and look at all the chains. Go out there and do some of the transactions on here. And this will also help you go, okay, well, if PancakeSwap is on Arbitrum and on Polygon, well, that means I can probably trade the Cake token across. So it also helps you. What you need to do, because this is a very tailored approach for every single person, you got to see where you are, because likely in your DeFi journey, you have used some LayerZero bridges or LayerZero applications. In fact, I used the Aptos bridge a ton when I was sort of farming APT and doing a bunch of work on that chain. So you probably got something already. It's like, how do I minimize how much I'm spending to do that? And the goal here, once again, is every single day, you want to make sure you check on Wenzer, the last time it was updated, how much better are you doing? The same thing goes when you're on NFT CoPilot. When you're doing it, don't get disheartened because you did the transactions and stuff and it didn't update for 10 hours or whatever. Well, the next time it updates, monitor your difference and track it. This is what we do in the private Discord. Like, I'll just show a screenshot from one of our members who posted yesterday, moving on up. They're now in the top 17%, right? This is how you do it, because we are actually forcing ourselves to be accountable in the private group, posting screenshots, posting trackers, going, okay, here's what you're missing, do this. And by doing that, we're going to minimize your sort of rank, or sort of optimize your rank to be the highest possible in terms of numbers. So we want to be in the top 5%, top 1%. So that's kind of the idea here. So I've showed you the DAPS. There's also another tool called Merkley. Now, Merkley is not just for LayerZero. You can use it for LayerZero, Wormhole, if you want to try it, even though the snapshot's done, Polyhedra and Hyperlane. You can do gas refuels on Polyhedra. You can do gas refuels on LayerZero as well. Do these transactions, do one a day or whatever to sort of map it out. Remember, some of these transactions will be more expensive than others. You sort of pick an amount. It will sort of trade your Ethereum, if it's ZK Sync, to whatever on Meter. And once again, if Meter is a destination chain that you need to do, perfect. Also, if ZK Sync is a destination chain, perfect. So these are the tools that are out there. I've already showed you Stargate, but one other thing that I think I would be remiss not to show you, and something I did earlier, was I got into the STG pool. So I had actually, I staked some STG token. So what happens is I locked it up until March 27, 2024. Part of it is I suspect that they will be rewarding those who staked the STG token and also those who voted on their governance. Now, you don't have to vote on everything, but hey, just core principles on stuff around Stargate. So that's pretty much what I wanted to sort of cover in this video. I hope it was very clear. Guys, I won't be able to answer any comments right now, but I will take a look later, and I will have a live stream later going over some more fundamentals. But I really hope you enjoyed this video. I really hope that you take my advice here, not financial advice, but just genuine friend advice here, part of the community. I want to see you guys do well. You're not too late on LayerZero, and I want you guys, please, 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 post in the comments. Tell me in a week where you were on LayerZero before you watched the video and after you started grinding. I promise you guys, if you do the work right now, you can earn a significant airdrop at a fraction of the cost. I believe I've spent something like 40 to 50 bucks on gas fees overall. It's all about being intelligent around it, mapping out, building a plan. Get out that paper and pen or your Word document. Figure out what you've got to do in the short term, because this will pay more dividends than hundreds of testnet protocols. So please, please, please take that into account. If you like the video, make sure you like the video, share the video with someone that you know or some friends that you really think are slacking on LayerZero. Let's get it. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. And as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next